Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing my September wrap up for this year. I know the month hasn't technically finished. Uh, it is Wednesday and it ends on Monday. But I just wanted to upload this video. Um, this has been a absolute terrible reading month for me. A terrible month. I have I have only read two books this month. Ever since I've become a reader, that I've never really read at least just two books in 1 month. It's extremely disappointing, extremely disheartening. And there was a book that I'm about to show you that almost got me so close to a reading slump. It got me so close, and I've never been in a reading slump before. I've been reading since I think 2017. I've been a constant reader since then, and this month is the closest I've ever got to a reading slump. Now, when people say that they have reading slumps, I think how awful, because for me, reading is something that I do every single day, and if I don't do it, then it just feels that the day is somewhat wasted. It wasn't a really good month for me. Reading wise, otherwise, apart from that, I'm really good. I'm really great. Just the reading month was a absolute terrible reading month, and especially because I nearly got into a reading slump, and being this close to October and Halloween, I did not want that to happen. So currently, right now, it hasn't got me into a reading slump. I just feel somewhat shitty because I'm only reading one book right now, which I will show you in a minute. But in October, I will be reading numerous books. I just maybe probably want to have a bit of a, I don't know, chilled, laid back few days until October happens, when that's going to be really insane for me, reading wise. I might actually read some comics. I'm not sure. I'm in the mood for that. Something simple and quick. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I'm taking another page out of Faceless Book Reviews' channel. So, what is the book that got me into or near enough to a reading slump? That was The Black Company by Glenn Cook. Now, I had this actual physical book in my possession ever since the a really good friend of mine, who is still technically a booktuber. He hasn't uploaded any book reviews or any book related videos on his channel. He's called Slowly Read, but he has been uploading tattoo videos recently, so hopefully he's going to come back soon on BookTube. But he was the one that introduced me to this book. He's the one that encouraged me to go out, well, not go out, go on the internet rather than buy it. So it's been in my room for a while now, and I was meaning to pick it up. I think I dipped my toes into it somewhat, probably about 20 pages in, and then I temporarily DNF'd it, probably because the writing style wasn't gelling with me at that time. But my friend Bad is Rad 2 wanted to do a buddy read because she's been into fantasy recently, and I give her a list of possible suggestions, and she picked The Black Company by Glenn Cook. Obviously, I only meant for us to buddy read the first book, which is The Black Company by Glenn Cook, as you can tell by the cover. This is the first book in the series, and I took a picture of it. I sent it to Bad is Rad 2 so she can see what the cover looks like, and she went and bought a copy of the book, and she said that her copy was about 700 pages long. So I was thinking, hang on, how is that unless it's a really microscopic small print? Because this book is only about 300 pages long. So I asked her what version did she get, and after I looked online, thank you Amazon, um, I said, did you get The Chronicles of the Black Company by Glenn Cook? And she said yes. This has the first 3 books in the Black Company series. The whole, as far as I'm aware, the whole series is split up into 4 or 5 of these volumes, and this has the Black Company, book 1, book 2, which is Shadows Linger, and book 3, the White Rose. So she said yes, that she got this version, and it was kind of funny because I was expecting to read book 1, but after I found out that she got this version, I thought, okay, we might as well read all of them. Well, she suggested it, and she said, well, we can buddy read the first book, and then if I feel like it, yeah, I could read book 2 and book 3. So I said, no, I'm actually committed to the series. I'm committed to this book. We will read all 3 of these novels, which are roughly about 300 pages long each, I would imagine, in the month of September, back to back. And she was committed to this, and I was committed to this. So we were reading book 1. We were somewhat enjoying it. The plot is kind of all over the place. Instead of having one like linear plot, it has kind of these somewhat semi plot points and semi missions that they've got to do. And this book, or actually the first book rather, is more about this hardened evil band of mercenaries that does all these evil and violent things. And it was more about the characters for me than about the plot and the storyline. We both agreed that we liked the characters. In fact, I still remember one of them, which was called Silent, as because he was always silent, so that's what his name was. The characters in this book, as far as I can remember, their character traits were their names. So whatever personality that they had, that was their kind of name throughout this book. Probably a nickname, really. But we were 2/3 of the way through this. Bad Israel 2 said that she wasn't enjoying it and that she would be DNFing it. But she said that I could continue reading it if I so wished to. So at that time, I felt very. I mean, we both had the same conclusion for the book. We both enjoyed the characters, but we wasn't really a big fan of the plot. So we were somewhat struggling with this book. So after she said that she was going to DNF it, I DNF'd it as well. I do not know whether I'll be continuing reading the series. I've heard that book 2 is a lot better than book 1. I know that's kind of sometimes standard in fantasy series. Book 1's kind of the weakest of the bunch, and then it gets better as the author perfects their craft. I do not know whether I'll be continuing with this series. I am more than willing and more than happy to give it another go, despite the fact that this book nearly got me so close to a reading slump and nearly got me out of enjoying fantasy as a genre. In fact, if I wasn't currently reading or making my way slowly through Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, that probably would have been the case at least for several months. So you may be thinking to yourself, well, David, why would you bother even thinking about potentially rereading a book that nearly got you so close to a reading slump? Two reasons basically. First one, I am stupid, and two, I like these characters so much. It would be a pleasure of some sort to actually read about them again, despite the fact that I can't remember some of them. But I'm intrigued to see what I make of book two. Um, if I do read this again and I do get to book two and my thoughts are the same for that one, then I will be DNFing the book, in its entirety, or the series in its entirety. So yeah, I won't be keeping both books obviously because this one is in this. So I will be donating this copy, and I will be putting this version in my reading den slash the shed at the bottom of the garden um, to pick up whenever I feel like it. So what did I manage to read during September? This is actually going to be quick. I read a author request book which was sent to me, or a author called Aaron Ryan reached out to me for an email asking me if I wanted to read his book, or a series which is called Dissonance, and the first book is called Reality, Volume 1. There are 3 volumes in this series, plus a prequel book. Now, because the prequel book is Volume 0, or that's what it has on the cover anyway, I was saying to him, what should I start off with, Volume 0 or Volume 1? And he said Volume 1. I'll have a picture of the book up here, obviously. He told me about the plot in the email, but basically, I'll be doing a whole video on this as well. But in a nutshell, this is about a alien invasion that happened about 16 years ago, where these aliens have invaded Earth and conquered Earth, and these aliens are called Gorgons. Now, when they look at you, they can turn you. I don't think they can turn you into stone, but they can freeze you. And when they freeze you, you can't do anything, and they eat you alive, and you can feel this happening to you. And they only come out during the night, basically, but they can, mostly, but they can come out during the day. They are very sensitive to the temperatures, so if it's extremely cold or extremely hot, they don't like that, at all. They can be very sensitive to loud noises, and they can't see well. They are very pack-like. They travel mostly together, but it's not uncommon for one to be floating around. So we follow a group of characters, and they basically have to try to survive this. It's a story which we have all heard in books and we've all watched in movies, but I enjoyed the ride, and I will be continuing reading the series. It's not blown my mind or anything like that. It's not, oh my god, new favourite author or anything like that. But it was entertaining, and it has intrigued me, to continue on reading the series. So, Dissonance, Reality, Volume 1 by Aaron Ryan. I'm going to rate it a 4 stars. It was a very enjoyable book, despite the fact that the story wasn't new to me. But I will do a whole video on it and go into more depth with it. It would probably be after this video comes out. And the second thing I read, which was a reread, I've read this book twice this year, probably in the space of a month or so, and that was Long Buried by E.D. Lewis. The reason why I reread this is because the first time I read this, I wanted to do a video on it, but I got a cold shortly afterwards, and I didn't want to make a video because I sounded and probably looked horrible. Um, and I wanted to do a video on this for October because this book is amazing. I won't be saying much about this, but this is about a haunted farm where a son goes back to visit his mother, who is moving out, and he has to try to conquer his ghosts from his past, and that is the actual ghosts and spirits residing in this location, and the ghosts from his childhood as well. This is amazing. I cannot wait to do a video on this. This is probably going to be the next video that I upload and then film. I highly recommend this book, guys, for Halloween. This is extremely short. This is only 27 pages long. It's a very quick read, despite the fact that if you are a slow reader or not, you can read this really quickly. And I highly recommend that you buy this and read it for Halloween. It is obviously a physical copy and you can get it on Kindle, but I really recommend that you pick this book up during the spooky season. So I'm not sure why I rated it on Goodreads, but I'm going to rate it at 5 stars. It was entertaining, and I personally think that I can reread this numerous times, and it will always entertain me, and it will always be a fun and creepy read. Now, what am I currently reading right now? I'm actually rereading Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice. Now, I was supposed to read this for October for my vampire theme. Don't worry, I'm still doing the vampire theme for October. But after I DNF'd the Black Company, I wanted to pick up something that was horror and something that I knew that I would enjoy. There was a Grady Hendrix book, We've Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix, that I wanted to read, I'm still going to, but I didn't want to pick that book up to have the kind of chance of it not being amazing for me, not enjoying it. I'm sure I will, but I didn't want to have that chance with me being that close to a reading slump at that time. So I thought, okay, I'll reread Interview. I've read this once before. I've seen the movie once. I enjoy them both. Yeah. I thought I was going to finish this book in September, but I'm probably going to be finishing it either on the 1st or the 2nd of October. Maybe the 3rd, but I'm expecting it to be finished at least by the 2nd. It's unfortunate that I couldn't finish this book up in September, but it is a slow burn. It's not action-packed and all people having their throats ripped out all the time and blood squirting everywhere. Again, I'll do a video on this, but Anne Rice's vampires are like, what would vampires be like if they actually existed? Like real life vampires, and how would they react and be in the real world? This is what you're going to get with Interview. It does have loads of descriptions in it. Yes, it can get tedious and it does drag a lot in places, but it's a good atmospheric read, and in all fairness, I could rush this and finish it in September, but I think that this book is one of the prime examples of a book which you shouldn't rush through, that you should read it slow and savor it and enjoy it. This book isn't going to be for everyone. Just know that if you want to read Interview, which I highly recommend that you do, if you're going to read anything vampire related outside of Dracula and all the was going to say all the standard vampire books. I think the only one right now is with Dracula. There's probably a lot more. Camilla, that's one that comes to my mind now. But if you reread, but if you pick this book up, just know that it's gonna be a slow burn. Take your time with it. Don't rush through it. It's about 300 pages long book. But no, it's the more realistic side of vampires rather than the fictionalized versions of vampires. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. As I said, it's just a bit slow sometimes. So that is it, guys. That is what I have been up to. That is what I DNF'd, what my reading month has been like. It's been very discouraging. I know that some of you may be thinking, well, saying down in the comments, well, hopefully anyway, that I shouldn't be discouraged. But it's just one of them unfortunate things. We have to DNF a book, despite the fact, I mean, if we're not enjoying it, then we got to do what we got to do. But I know that October is going to be a better month for me, and I'll be reading a lot more stuff, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm all raring to go. I got my Halloween intro all sorted out, which will be coming out on the 1st of October. So I'm excited to see people's reactions for it. And yeah, and I also, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but despite the fact that I've read Edie's book twice, on Goodreads, I'm only going to list it as reading it only once, because I think I could say that I read this book twice, but I kind of somewhat think that that's cheating a little bit, you know. So on Goodreads, I'm only going to say that I read this book once, but in reality, I read it twice. I think that right now I've actually got some comics, some Elvira comics. I think I will read one of them tonight, and yeah, I'm just in the mood for it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to be a mood reader. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that's what I've been. That's actually what I've read in September. 2 books, and that's what I'm and also what I'm reading right now. Once again, it's just one of the unfortunate months. It really is. There was another author request book that I was planning to read the same time as Aaron's book, but I couldn't really fit it in. So I'm going to be making a top priority, well, author request books anyway for November. Anyway, better cut it off here. I have to be better at not droning on and on about nonsense. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.